What's up, guys? Barrygaming here, back with some more Infinite Magicraid, and today we're going to be talking about some of the best epic healers that you can add to your team. You probably heard me talk about them quite a bit, but there's going to be one or two additional ones on this list so that if you're struggling to find like the Liz copies or something like that, these can be good substitutes and be a decent healing supporter because, yeah, even if you have win with those shields, eventually you're going to take damage, and being able to not only exceed your maximum health with shields, but also being able to regain that health with healers, it's pretty solid. So hopefully you guys enjoy this, and hopefully you guys are enjoyed Infinite Magicraid. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down below, and let's get right into it. So let's jump right into it. We're going to start talking about the ones that you've always heard of. You know they are amazing. The first one being Liz. So Liz is just an absolute beast of a healer. Her passive is one thing that's really cool, especially if you're working on a team that has debuffs. She synergizes extremely well with Holder if Holder is your main damage dealer, because Liz restores self HP by 3% of max HP for every one debuff inflicted on the enemy. That can go up to an additional 2% up to 5%. She gains health back very quickly, especially if you have burn heroes, bleed heroes. Any type of debuff is amazing. Now her basic attack is okay, but the really cool part of it is she inflicts debuffs herself as well, including an HP burn debuff, which is really solid. She's definitely part of any team you want to build that has like a burning synergy. She's absolutely amazing to be the healer on the team. Her first active skill, Fire Heal, restores HP by 80% of attack plus 6% of max HP for an ally and grants them res debuff. That is nice because then they can't get debuffs. Very solid, nothing super flashy. But lastly, Resurrection, her main active skill here, restores HP by 10% of max HP to all allies and cleanses 5 layers of dot debuffs. So if you're going against a wave that you're stuck on and they have tons of dot debuffs, this is the pick right here. Meanwhile, it grants them a shield by 20% of Liz's max HP. So building her for HP usually works out the best because, yes, some of her healing is based on her attack, but a lot of it's based on the max HP stat. And of course, that shield, very amazing. You can lower the cooldown. Now, she only gets, actually, yeah, I think she only gets 2 exclusives here, right? Burn or HP burning received by self will be converted into a heal. Oh, that one isn't attached to any skill. That's just a really cool strategy. But her resurrection gets super buff. So resurrection restores the target's HP by 3% of max HP for every 1 layer of dot cleansed, and that can be up to 5 of them. And lastly, increases the shield up to 40% of max HP from 20. So getting a ton of copies of her and getting her exclusive up to level 3 means that she is just a boss of a healer, especially on some sort of debuff synergy team. Now, the second hero we're going to talk about, again, is another one that we've talked about quite often, and it is going to be Maya from the Holy Light Parliament. She is a lot of similarities to Liz, except she's more for like a team that doesn't have debuffs, and it works really well if you have like a tank hero that has like the must attack me type situation. So jumping in here, her basic attack deals damage to a single target and restores HP by 5% of max HP for the ally with the lowest HP. So very much a smart heal. She attacks, she gets a little bit of a heal. It's not significant, but the one nice thing with her, she heals for an absolute ton. Her second ability here, Light Purifying, restores HP by 15% of max HP for an ally and another 2 allies that are random, before which, if the target's HP is full, cleanses 3 layers of dot debuffs. Very cool. Now, her passive is very similar to how Liz has a passive self-heal. Maya restores self-HP by 1.8% of HP whenever an ally takes direct damage. So instead of when a debuff is applied like Liz kind of works out, this one, she just self-heals, and I find her back at full health all the time, even if she's being targeted. And then lastly, Sacred Light. I love this ability so much. It is a gigantic AoE heal, which is amazing, but it also has these little bonuses that can give you damage reduction, shielding, res buffs, all that fun stuff. And yeah, I really like her over here. So Maya receives 30% more healing effect when her HP is below 50%. That way her passive that we talked about, this one right here, yeah, that's even included in this right here. Maya loses less HP here. And then Level 3 is interesting. Maya restores her HP by 100% of max HP immediately when she takes fatal damage. That is absolutely amazing if you can get this capped out. The next one on the list is going to be from the Foresters faction. Now, I feel like is something to say. There is a big drop off from both Liz and Maya to the next best healer from the epic quality, and Mafika is kind of the next best one. So basic attack deals damage to a single target with a 40% chance to inflict poison. I mean, yeah, that's cool. She's not going to be here for damage. She's meant to be a healer. Poison Rain deals 140% attack damage to all enemies, which is pretty cool, with a 30% chance to inflict poison. Again, not really a heal for the most part. Her deep poison passive reduces the target's turn meter by 8% additionally when Mafika successfully inflicts poison. This is where those poisons on both the basic and active skills here do come into play, because if you're lowering the target's turn meter, that's less damage that your team is taking. And considering this one is to all enemies, 30% chance, this is where hit effect would be amazing. And then lastly, we finally get to the actual heal here, called Poison Healing. Restores all allies HP by 8% of max HP and cleanses all attributes. So you can see it's very similar to both Maya and Liz's active ability. Granted, she is more of a debuffer compared to the other two, but she still has this really big one. At level 1 exclusive, additionally cleanses all 5 layers of dot debuffs, kind of similar to Liz. Poison Healing additionally resets the duration of poison when Mafika successfully inflicts poison, which is good because that's going to affect the turn timer, and then increases the poison damage. So you can kind of build her more as a hybrid hero. If you need some AoE damage or a debuffer, she's an amazing pick with some bonus healing kind of built in, because you might be going against some game modes where you don't need like a ton of healing, but you need just a little bit to keep the team going. She is an awesome pick. Lastly, the one we're going to talk about next is going to be a hero that you actually get to start off with in the game, and she is not half bad at what she does. But it is Eden. Eden is the second hero you ever get in the game behind Lutz, I believe, and she's pretty solid. So her basic attack basically has a 60% chance to reduce the enemy attack, which is, of course, less damage that you're incoming. Can be good against bosses that you're not that confident in dealing with the amount of damage coming in. Enchanted Blessing is cool because it increases all allies attack by 20% for 2 rounds. This can also grant 1 layer of healing to 3 allies with the lowest HP, and increases allies' turn meters by 15% at exclusive level 2. So like the combination of all of these can be really good. She's more of like a buffer debuffer. Her passive increases self speed up to 3 times at the end of each turn. Not really huge, except that she'll get a lot of speed. And then lastly, her main active ability here, Recovery Energy, restores HP by 8% of max HP for allies and grants them a layer of heal, which is, of course, restore self HP by 5% before each action. Increases all speed of allies too. So you guys can kind of see where she's maybe not the best one, but if you're looking for someone that against bosses, especially that 20% attack debuff with some little bit of healing built in and that negative attack on the enemy, she is just an absolutely amazing combo. And the best part is you get 1 copy for free. So let me know what you guys think about this list. I'm trying to give you guys some input on epic heroes because I know, especially as a free to play, you can't be too picky with your heroes and you want to try to use the best ones available in your arsenal. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Infinite Magicraid, play to slay.